We tend to lack water. The body is 60 to 70% made up of water. So the big thing to do is, drink 2 cups of water in the morning, see how you feel, and keep that going throughout the day. I've told people to use a Poland Spring bottle as a measure of how many cups to have, and start off with 5 to 6, and you can shoot up to 8 to 10 cups of water. A nice way to see it is looking at urine, making sure that it's clear.
So start off early with those 2 cups.
We tend to get dehydrated at nighttime. When you're breathing, you may be sweating as well, depending on what the room temperature is. So you're just looking to hydrate the body to get the day going.
All right. Next on the list, you shall eat moderately.
Yes, I feel like this world has gotten into a gluttonous stage in this planet where we're over consuming just a bunch of everything. And when it comes to food, look to have moderate meals. Make sure that your meals are smaller portions. I know when I have my carbs, I'm Dominican, and my family loves to make plátanos, they got salami, cheese, all that. I cut it in half to make sure that I can eat enough that I'm satisfied. I'm not leaving a lot on the plate. And I know that I'm not going to have what I call the itis. And you're just feeling like you have to pick up your shirt, let your tummy out, and you don't feel well.
Yes, that struggle is real for sure. Next on the list, the most important meal is what you call breaking fast.
Yeah, so it's in the name with breakfast, right? If we look at it, you're breaking your fast. No matter who, I don't know anybody that can eat while they're sleeping. If you can, pretty interesting. I would love to talk to you. Yet, you're not having anything for about 5 to 8 hours. It depends on how many hours you're sleeping. Yet, when you're refueling the body, you drink your water. This goes into my next point about drinking a green juice. I like to make sure that I'm taking in vitamins and minerals to make sure that I'm hydrating my body at a very molecular level.
One of the other things you sort of mention when you're looking at food is asking yourself, does this really benefit my goals?
Yeah, so I like to talk about Pavlov. Pavlov ran a study years ago. I'm not going to try to date it because I'm going to be wrong. And it had to do with dogs, where he would put food in front of an animal and would start to ring a bell where you'll see the animal would start to salivate. At first they needed the food stimulus to salivate. Then it was just a bell, and then they would salivate by just hearing a bell. We're an animal, we're a species. So we work the same way, where if I see food, if I smell food, if I talk about food, if we're talking about, a burger, a salad, whatever the case may be, you may start to salivate, you may start to feel hungry, and you could have just had a meal, right? So it's more so about being mindful. All right, did I just eat? Okay, I don't need anything right now. Or, this burger seems like it would be great. Yeah, does that go with what I'm trying to do with my life and my goals?
So it's kind of being aware of what sort of triggers that hunger for you. Is it smell? Is it taste?
It depends. We get so much stimulus throughout the day. It can be an ad, a marketing material, a nice ad on the TV, on a poster, on a wall. It could be the smell of the restaurant when you pass by. I don't know, unless you can't smell or you're blind, you're gonna have one less thing to worry about. Yet all of these senses can be a factor when you're talking about, starting to feel hungry when you had just eaten, or when you feel the need to eat because of something that came on TV, yet it doesn't coincide with what you want to do with your goals.
You have one more suggestion, which is eat perishable food. I know sometimes I buy perishable food and then it just goes to waste in the fridge.
So there's two things with that. There's an accountability on yourself to make sure that you use the food so that it doesn't go to waste. And when you look at the food that we tend to buy at fast food places, you can have them at home for weeks on end and it won't rot. So why are we putting things that won't rot in the body if the body itself rots? So from the perspective of accountability, that you buy enough for what you need so that you can use it, as well as making sure that what you put into the body is as close to what's grown out in the world.
And you're spending so much money on it that you are aware that it's going to perish and you want to eat it.
For sure. And that helps you, working on the wellness, on financial wellness, right? Things start to coincide where you start to see it's about the habits that you build, the way that you live your life. And that ultimately will build a wealth of health, a wealth of finances, and ultimately continue to, have lessons to pass down to your children.